also back with Gwinnett Lawns in beautiful, yeah, you know it, you see that sky, don't you? Atlanta, Georgia. Today is Monday, November the 17th, 2025. It's cold out here. It's in the low 40s. Got the heat going. So I'm gonna ask the question of the day just to start out. What are your plans for Thanksgiving? Are you going to work part of the week? Hopefully you're not going to work on actual Thanksgiving. Are you? Are you going to take part of the week off? You're going to take just Thanksgiving off? What are your plans? My plans are that I am going to take the entire week off. I don't get to take a vacation during the summer, which is when I would prefer to take a vacation, but I want to just unplug from the lawn care scene, and I'm going to take the entire week off, Monday through Friday. Now, we're still working, we're still mowing. The Bermuda is almost dormant. People that have zoysia, I have a couple customers that have zoysia. It's not completely dormant yet, but it's close. And then of course, a lot of my customers that have leaves falling, I come back every 2 weeks, but this is what I'm going to do. Excuse me. I am going to take the entire week, right? I'm going to take it off. I'm just pushing that week down. So for 2 weeks in a row, because almost all my customers are bi-weekly, it will end up being 3 weeks before I service them. Because when I push that week down, then the next week's gonna go down. So that's what I'm doing. Because I want to and I can. But I need a break, man. I need to just chill out for a little while. But what are your plans? What are your plans? Certainly on Thanksgiving, I'm going to eat some massive amounts of food, as I always do, and then I pay for it by being super sleepy. But yep, that's what I'm doing. So I have got, I got on the schedule today 8. I have 8 on the schedule. I have all of a sudden been getting a lot of requests for bush trimming. I've been getting a lot of requests for actually pine straw. If you guys are in the South, you know about pine straw. If you're not in the South, you probably think it's super weird, but it's just pine needle mulch. That is what people use down here. They still use regular black and red and brown mulch, but pine straw is probably more popular. So I've got some of those. Look at there. Customer just put the credit card on file. So I send estimates out. I use Yardbook. I don't know what you guys use, but I use the free version. It does everything that I would want it to do. The only thing that it doesn't do, and I'm not going to pay the money for just this feature, but it on the paid version, you can actually text the estimates and text the invoices and all that. If you do invoices, instead of email them, I email. I don't sorry, I'm trying to look at that. So I did a quote for a bush job Friday or Saturday. It's pretty big. The bushes are super overgrown, and so they approved the estimate, and then they just put the credit card on file. And I'm not paying attention, and I'm going the direct opposite way I need to go. Distracted driving. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a U-turn right here. Now I'm going to drive right into the sun. That's not cool. Anyway, So we've got that going. I've got quite a few estimates out for doing pine straw, for doing leaf cleanups. They're starting to come in now. It's just the way it happens. It happens right before Thanksgiving. So the way that I handle it is, as the mowing customers kind of drop off, I have space in my schedule to do the extra stuff, and I'll just do that. Now, I got some money to spend on this box truck, so I've got to get some new tires installed tomorrow on the front. They're wearing a little funny, and I went to take the truck to the shop. I found a really good shop that specializes in Isuzus, and it's only like 7 miles from my house. Didn't even know it existed until the guy that sprays my yard told me about it, because he runs Isuzus for his spray trucks. And I went up there to go, I had an appointment, went up there to go get the alignment taken care of, and he told me, he's like, yeah, you've got some weird wear on your tires. One of my shocks on the passenger side is wore out, and he said that before he does the alignment, I need to have the new tires on there, because it will affect the alignment. So he said, let me take the truck around back and get it off the ground, and let me check a couple things before I tell you, that I'm gonna be able to do the alignment. So he wasn't gone but about 5 minutes, and he comes back. I'm in the waiting room talking to the lady in there, and he's in there. He comes back and says, I got some news. He said, your kingpins are toast. Now, if you don't know what kingpins are, they would be the equivalent to ball joints on a passenger vehicle. On these solid front beam axles, they use kingpins. It's the same thing that pickup trucks and cars used to use in the 30s and 40s. They're just huge, gigantic pins. They're about 8 inches long, maybe more than an inch in diameter, and that's what the steering knuckle rotates on. So you turn the wheels will turn. And if you keep those things greased from the time they're new, he said they'll last hundreds of thousands of miles. Now, this truck has 111,000 miles. I bought it, it had 95,000 miles. This was an old Aaron's furniture rental truck. And my dealer that I bought 2 Isuzus from him so far, and they specialize in doing Isuzu NPRs, and they're really the only fleet customer that they'll take, because the trucks are clean. They don't let them get beat up and all that. But apparently you're supposed to grease those things. I do them every 3,000 miles. The guy at the shop said, at least every oil change. Apparently that got skipped, I guess, a couple times. Not since I've had it, and there is a lot in the passenger side one over there. There's a lot of movement. So those have to be replaced. And if you've ever replaced, now I could do the job. I've done them on a 56 Chevy truck. They were seized. I asked him how long the job would take, and he said it would take a day, 1 day to a couple of days, depending on how bad they're seized in the bushings. So there's a big gigantic press. It's super expensive that fits on the vehicle that they would use, or they get out the blue wrench, which is called a torch, and have to finagle it. But he said he didn't think that was going to be that big of a deal on this truck, because this is not a truck that was subjected to salt like it would be up north. He said those seize really bad, and they're very hard to get out. So what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to take all next week off, I'm just going to drop the truck off, and they can have it all week, and it won't be a big deal. And then when I get ready to go back the following Monday, it should be fixed. So they're going to do that. They're going to do the alignment. Oh, also put in the comments how much you think this is going to cost. So 2 shocks, replacing the kingpins, the labor, and then doing the front alignment. Go on, write how much you think that's going to cost. Just give me a range. I'm going to tell you. $2,200. You know what's bad is the labor to just replace the kingpins. It's like $1,800. It's a pretty big job. They got to tear the whole front apart of the steering system. And I could do it, but you know what? I'm taking this week off. I ain't doing it, and it needs to be done because I've got to get new tires, and I don't want to put the new tires and run them like that, because the worse this gets, the longer it'll take and the more expensive it'll end up being. But once it gets done, you know, I'll keep them greased, and they'll last maybe another 200,000 or 300,000 miles without an issue. Hate to spend it, you know, after spending $500 on the trim star getting that fixed, but that is one disadvantage. I'm gonna tell you guys, this truck is really easy to work on, but there's some things that are not, I would consider they're not DIY stuff. Like when I replaced the expansion valve for the air conditioner and the condenser 2 years ago, it was super easy to do because it's very accessible under the dash. I didn't have to pull the dash out like I would on a normal passenger vehicle. You know, that job right there would have been probably $1,200, and I think I spent maybe $300 in parts. I've got an AC degree, so I like doing that stuff. But anyway, I was like, you know what? I am not going to take the week off and waste it underneath this truck. I want to just kind of chill out for a week. So they'll do it. They know what they're doing. They do them all the time. So, but anyway, if you're in this area, it's called M&M Auto Diesel. They specialize in Isuzus, and it's kind of a smaller shop. They do, you know, a lot of heavy trucks and stuff like that. But they got racks, the alignment racks that can handle these trucks. So we'll let them take care of it, and I don't have to worry about it. You can never get back time. You can always make more money. So as much as I don't want to spend it, once it's done, I'll make sure that we'll never have to do that. Well, I'm not going to say never. They will eventually wear out again. But so that's the yard I'm doing. Look at them leaves. All right, so I'm gonna set the camera up. Maybe, you know what, I'm gonna do a time lapse on the front yard. There's a lot of those big fat giant oak leaves. But anyway, I'm very very happy. I'm gonna be able to take some time off, and that sun is just no good. But anyway, let's get this yard done, and we'll talk a little bit more.